Hi, I'm going to talk about mid lane fundamentals, my Ornn, laning, warding, stuff like that. So I think mid lane is a really broken role. You're literally in the center of the map. You have access to like every warding spot, every jungle entrance. You can be there for any play. And I'm going to talk about how using warding, fundamentals, your lane state, can create a big advantage in like the first 6 minutes of the game. So most mid laners, they just stay under their turret level 1. I don't know why. They just don't watch jungle entrances. They don't do anything. They're tabbed out. They're listening to Miley Cyrus or they're on Facebook or something. I don't know. So level 1, of course, you gotta start watching a jungle entrance. I'm gonna protect my jungler here. So there was like a Morgana earlier that was like poking. I don't know. But basically, I'm protecting my jungler just in case they get late invaded. So I'm playing mid Ornn, which isn't like your standard pick. I play bruisers mid, I play tanks mid. I feel like it fits my playstyle more. So mages early kind of suck. Like their auto attacks do no damage. They do like 40 damage per auto attack. Their abilities have a strong AP scaling, but in the early game, they don't have any AP. So they just do no damage. They don't really have a ton of wave clear until like they get their last chapter. They get a little bit of AP and mana. So I have a lot of push as Ornn. Ornn kind of fulfills the role as a mage for like the early and mid game, as well as he fulfills the tank role and the support role. Pretty much all the roles combined, Ornn. Tank, mage, assassin, warlock, summoner, like all of the things. So early game, I just have a better push. So I actually walked to the lane a little bit late. I could do a one-way fast push and go get a ward down. But I walked up there a little late because I was just watching the jungle entrance, me being lazy level 1. So Vigar's auto attacks, he hit me with Airy, but I'm only down like his auto attack itself only did like 40 damage. Like I can literally ignore him. I have D shield, I have second wind. Don't care about Vigar, so I'm gonna start out pushing him. And if I'm hitting the wave, he hits the wave in response, so he's not autoing me. So I'm just out pushing him. Even if he poked me, he wouldn't deal any damage. So I'm trying to build a two-wave slow push. Although it's kind of hard to build slow pushes in mid, you can still do it. So I had a few extra casters from the previous wave. So I'm trying to use my ability to hit all of the minions. Maybe if I was a better player, I could hit all 6 minions based on how they're aligned. But basically, Ornn's wave clear is like really strong level 1. Like his Q wave clear is incredibly strong. And you can get like two Qs on a wave. So I'm like trying to CS to my best ability. Trying to clear the wave. And we know what slow pushes do is it makes you have a timer. So Vigar really can't move from this wave now for the next like 10 seconds. Because if he does, he's going to miss his CS, he's going to miss the XP, and even if he does try to move, he's on vision because minions also get vision. So slow pushes are OP. So what I'm going to do now is, so earlier in the game, my team pinged that Viego started bot. I wasn't really paying attention. But maybe you could tell based on when the bot laners move if anyone's like missing any mana. So like that's assuming they casted a spell in the blue buff. Same with top lane. You can try to infer. So let's say if we know Viego's bot, we know he's doing Gromp, and we know he's gonna do blue and Gromp, and we know he's pathing up because that's what happens. If you start on one side of the map, you path to the opposite side. That's just like a basic jungle fundamental. So we know Viego's pathing up. So what I do is get an excellent ward that'll help my team get information on their jungler. So I love this ward spot. So this ward spot has line of sight to the chickens, and also has line of sight a little bit towards the red buff. And this will be like a critical ward in the game that, boom, there's Viego. That will give us lots of information. So basic jungle fundamentals, how to count CS, 12 CS. He cleared blue, Gromp, wolves. Each of those are 4 CS, adds up to 12. And then we see him. He's like, walk here. No, I'm going to red. Oh, no. And then so he does this. I don't know. Something weird's happening. Right. And then we see him on red. My ward sees him on red. And we see him walk away from red. So if Viego's walking away from red, where is he going? So we see the red, like, I don't know if we see the red reset, but so we now know something weird is happening. Viego's not on red, he's not on his chickens, and he walked down. The only place he could be going is for a gank, some kind of Sen gank, or my team jungle. And we should assume that since my Nocturne did a 1-camp or 2-camp bot lane gank, I feel like we can kind of predict inductively that he's in our jungle. So this one word spot gave us the information. He's not on red, he's not on chickens, and we kind of like deduce he's either going for a Sen gank, top or mid, or he's in our jungle. And I just don't think you can gank Ornn, don't really think you can gank Aatrox, so he's probably in our jungle. And I'm just doing some trades. Boom. We see Morgana here. What? So Morgana died in lane, and she walks up. How insane is this one ward? So we now know Morgana is trying to do some weird either mid gank, top gank, or jungle play. So I'm getting a lot. I'm getting a little poked out, but it's fine. I got short second wind. We see Viego here. We know they're trying to do some shit in our jungle, and we know that Morgana is going to be here for this play because of my word. So I'm telling my team to not do this play, right? Like, obviously this video isn't about how to respond to certain plays, but rather how to get information. But essentially, we know Morgana's there because of me. Excellent, because of that word. And I decide not to go to that play. I'm too low. I was getting poked out. Maybe I didn't play it the best, but I'm chilling. I'm farming. And we don't care about what happens, but obviously they should have died, right? So I'm farming, I'm chilling. What was that? Sorry, Morgana came by lane out of nowhere. Okay. I mean, how smurf am I to do that? Anyway, so I love Morgana ganked again. This video isn't about Morgana, but so I recall and I TP. So I have second wind, I have D shield, and I have TP. I cannot be moved from mid lane. I am the invincible wall of mid lane. So I'm CSing. Vigo's on a reset. I can do one wave fast push. I can clear this wave. And here comes the second part of my plan. So the first part of the plan was get that ward here. Here comes part 2. So I have a timer since I TP'd back. Vigar's on a reset. Look at this ward spot. Boom. So what this ward spot does is it guards like this jungle entrance and also guards my jungle entrance and the path to mid. This ward's broken. It guards 2 jungle entrances, the path to mid. And then I'm going to go for a second ward. Boom. So the most important jungle entrances in the game are the jungle entrances to bot lane, because bot lane's OP. There's 2 champions there, twice the amount of champions. So this pink ward will guard this jungle entrance, and then this yellow ward will guard this jungle entrance. So if Viego comes bot through either of these entrances, we know. And this guy has been Sen ganking, he's been wasting his time. We're just going to avoid the gank, and he's going to go down CS. So what I did is I had a timer to move based on the lane state. And I got 2 insanely valuable words. These are S tier words. These are like BIS words. And this will be critical in the game. Okay, so we know Viego padded up this game. He went up. He did some weird shit up top, but essentially he padded up. And then after junglers take their first recall, he got recalled by dying, but he'll go back to where he started. So he should be going back to this Gromp. It's going to be respawning. It's going to be a level 2 Gromp. So my words should see him here. So we know if Viego doesn't show on this ward, he's probably just like on Gromp, on Wolves farming. But if he does show on the ward, that means he's trying to gank at the beginning of his clear, which should be a Sen gank. So I'm going to speed up a little bit. I'm just chilling. I'm farming. Scaling. I don't know what the fuck my Nocturne's doing, but I'm chilling, I'm scaling. Oh, boom. So Viego is now spotted here. So we know just from jungle fundamentals that his crop is going to be up. His wolves are probably going to be up soon, something like that. I'm going to switch the vision just to see. I don't know, I don't care. But we know Viego's going for a Sin gank here because of my pink ward. Like, he's wasting time here. And based on how he's moving, if Viego was going to clear his comp, he wouldn't be walking this way. He'd be walking this way towards this edge. So people in League move to the shortest path, the most efficient path, so you can predict where they're going to go based on like where they're moving. So we know Viego's going bot. So in this information, if it's communicated to my bot lane, if they are looking at the map, obviously they may not be looking at the map at mid fight, but they can now make the correct decision on how volatile they want to be because we saw Viego on the sword. And whether or not they create the correct play, doesn't matter. But they can like prepare themselves, prepare their positioning, prepare their flashes, like whatever, their cooldowns in such a way to avoid the gank or at least minimize the loss. Or maximize his time wasted or something, right? I'm doing some shit mid, we don't care about that. So we're still focusing on like, where is Viego? Boom. Morgana is shown on my ward. And Viego is shown on my other ward. Like, how broken are these two wards? So we know Viego's trying to Sin gank mid. Look where he's walking. The only way he's walking to mid. And we see Morgana, she's walking through jungle entrance. So what obviously, the way to avoid this gank is to lane to the left side. If their jungler's on the right side, you lean to the left side. He has to walk more distance, right? Basic leaning fundamentals. But what I like to do is I like to bait it a little bit. I like to pretend he doesn't. I like to pretend that I do not know he's there. So I waste his time. So I kind of like overstay a little bit, and then I dash out. I'm chilling. Like a bad player would try to kill the Vigar, like, ooh, Vigar's extended. But since I have these two wards, I know exactly what's happening. And I'm posturing in such a way that's baiting the enemy. Completely wasting their time. Now Viego's like splitting XP. Now we see him go up. So we know he didn't take his Gromp, he didn't take his Wolves. Scuttle spawning, and he's going up. So that's kind of the end of... so it's only 6 minutes, 47 seconds, but we know so much information about the game because of 3 ward placements. My first ward early in the game up here was very important, and knowing Viego's pathing. Then like my second wards after my TP, I had a room timer. These other 2 wards are very critical in knowing where Viego's pathing is. And I do the same strategy throughout the game. I always have these 2 things warded. I either pink here or I pink in this bush. Often, let's say your mid lane's an assassin. There's Zed or Talon. They love clearing and walking bot lane. A pink in this bush right here will allow the mid laner to be seen, but they won't walk over the ward. Because if you ward here when your mid laner's trying to roam, then they're gonna walk into the bush and then they're gonna take your ward. And we know LS fucking hates pink wards or something. I don't know, but what one thing he's right about is you need good ward placement. Because if you place wards in shit spots, yeah, they're a waste of gold. But if you're a human, then you place them in correct spots and they're insanely valuable. And also this pink ward will spot the support walking up to mid. A lot of times mid laners, they push, they die, they complain. But if you ward and lean, you're pretty much ungankable. Plus my champion has a dash, so that's a bonus. Right, so basic wards, basic fundamentals create a huge advantage in your game. Like I could have just sat under mid turret the whole game. I could have just sat and farmed. this top play might have gone differently. I might have died to this gank. My bot laners could have died to the Viego if they didn't know he was coming, like potentially. And I just throw out the game, and it's so impactful. Like, you have to be proactive in mid lane. Like, you don't have to trade with your laner. You don't have to have good mechanics, but having basic knowledge, basic timers, and jungle tracking can vastly improve your gameplay within the first few minutes of the game.